All right. Hey, Justin. How you doing
Hey
today?
Ryan, I'm doing good. How are you?
Good, good.
Good.
We have Ramit Sethi with us today.
Special guest.
Hi, Ramit. He flew in today to hang out with us and give some of his personal financial advice.
Yeah, I like Ramit.
Yeah, he's solid. Ramit Sethi wrote one of my favorite books of all time. It's definitely in my top 10 book list. I Will Teach You How to Be Rich, which I actually have a copy. I bought this book. Um, I sometimes give this book to people that graduate from
Nice.
college, from high school,
Hmm.
um, friends and families that have big birthdays. I'm a big believer in this being one of the best personal finance books out there. I Will Teach You How to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi.
Cool.
He 99% of what he says I resonates with me. I agree with. But I did find one thing that I don't like that Ramit Sethi has on his website.
Uh-oh.
If you look down here, it says, here are 50 books I recommend. Fantastic. He's
Yeah.
going to recommend books that we can read to better our lives. I love
Yeah.
that. And I did go through the list, and there's a lot of good suggestions. In fact, a
Nice.
good handful of them I've read. So when you click on it, this is what comes up. Here are 50 books I recommend. I'm not going to read this to you. You can read it now or later. But basically, he says he reads about 100 books a year.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. And he says, anytime you think you can find a book that's going to help you out, and I'm paraphrasing what he says here, and
Yep.
you can read this. Anytime you can find a book that you think can help you out, even one bit of advice, buy it.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've read that.
Yeah. So if people that are watching this read 100 books like Ramit
Okay.
and buy every book that they find that might help them out,
Okay.
or even fiction that they enjoy,
And we're talking like 100 books a year.
100 books a year,
Okay.
um, that's $2,000 to $3,000 a year you're spending on books.
That's a lot of money.
I'm pretty sure most teachers and other people are middle class and can't afford 100 books like Ramit Sethi can.
Right,
He's
right.
very fortunate. He's made a lot of money
Yeah.
teaching us what to do with our money.
Right.
So I wish he would say instead, if you think a book looks even remotely interesting, get it at the library.
Ooh.
So that's what we're going to talk about a little bit today.
Nice.
Getting as many books as you can at the library and
Free
saving
education.
free education.
I like
Thank
it.
you, Andrew Carnegie. Look
That's
him up and
right.
you'll understand why I
Right.
said that, Andrew Carnegie. Um,
Perfect.
if you want to use your fund money and you really like to buy books and you want to buy 100 books, go ahead and use your fund money and buy 100 books for $3,000, let's say.
Know that it's going to cost you maybe $3,000.
Yeah, exactly. There's something though called an opportunity cost,
Right.
right? Something that's big in the personal finance realm. If you buy $3,000 worth of books, that might be no Mexican vacation, for example,
Right.
or it might be a little bit less concerts
Less
or
going
sporting
out.
events and going out.
Yeah.
So I believe you should get most of your books at the library. For me personally, I buy about 5 to 10 books a year
Okay.
because I'm going to reread them. I'm going to use them as reference.
Nice.
I'll give them away as gifts when I meet people that I think can benefit from them, things like
Cool.
that.
Now, Ryan, I'm not retired, so I don't have all the time that you do to read books, but I love audiobooks.
Yeah.
And my wife and I, we have a hack where I think it's every 3, 4 months, Audible will give us hey, come back to us and give us 2 free books. So I join in and get the 2 free books, and then 4 months later, my wife will join in and get another 2 free books. So we just kind of go back and forth, and we get free Audible books
I love it.
for free because Audible's just trying to get us to come back. And
So that's a good hack.
yeah,
How many books could you get then over a year roughly by doing this hack?
I think we get about 6. So it's
6.
not
But
terrible, but
yeah,
it's not 100 either.
no, that's great. That's a great way to go about it. I like that. Um, so one thing I like, again, this is a book I recommend. It's fantastic. Rami has a lot of great ideas.
Hmm.
This is nothing about his ideas. It's about him saying, go buy my book. But he is also trying to make money,
Right.
right? He's making money telling us how to be wise with our money, which is kind of ironic because if you're a
He's
big reader and read 1,000 or 100
right,
books
right. Poof, there's
and
three
buy them
grand.
over 20 years, you have like 20, how many, 2,000 books?
Yeah, golly.
That,
Now you got to
that's
find a place to store them.
exactly. What I like, here's another book I'm going to reference. This is J.L. Collins. He wrote A Simple Path to Wealth.
Yep.
That's the book that he's famous for. So he came out with a new book, J.L. Collins, called Pathfinders. I recommend it. I got it at the library and read it
Nice.
and took some notes. But I did hear him in a podcast, and he was saying, "Go get my book at the library." He actually said,
Go
go
borrow it.
check out my book
Check it
from the
out.
library, which I found so refreshing because he's saying what everyone should say: go to the library, in
Right.
my opinion.
Yeah. I
So,
like it.
another great book that I like is The Psychology of Money
hmm
by Morgan Housel. We will do some book talks later about and get into some of these books that we like. I have my top 10 list. Justin
That's going
does
to be
too.
exciting.
Yeah,
It's going to be a good one.
exactly. This book I actually didn't get I didn't buy this book, but I got it at the library. But I liked it so much, I want to show you something that I'm a little bit nerdy, so sorry. I typed up really interesting points he made in this book. It's so good. It's definitely a top 10 book that I've read all time for personal finance.
Nice.
So this is what I did. I printed it to show you. I don't always print these out, obviously, but I like to make a notebook sometimes with things I've come across that I like in personal finance and other hobbies that I have. So I took notes, and this is how I do it. I'm going to show you how I do it just as an idea. I'm not saying follow this. It works for me, though. So one book I read, since I'm a retired teacher, How to Retire Happy, Wild, and Free by Ernie Zielinski. I thought this book was fantastic, so I bought it. And if you take a look here, I really, really liked it. So I tagged many, many interesting points, funny things he said, because he's a goofy guy, that I liked. And now I can just go back and read them casually whenever I'm inspired or want to be inspired.
Are any of these color coordinated? I see you have like some reds, some blues, some oranges.
Actually for this, I just grabbed what was available. So
Okay.
they don't mean anything. That's a good question. I've had people ask me that before. I'm part of this book club.
Nice.
That we meet once a month, and it's a nonfiction book club. And I tag books and bring it in, and they've asked that. But
It's just what's available.
Yeah. And again, I'm kind of a nerd. So I actually have this index card. So when I'm done tagging a book, and if I take notes from it and pull it out, I keep them and put them on an index card and then use them for the next book I take notes from. So just some thoughts. I don't buy all the books, like I said, but this one was so good, I bought it. And I actually bought his other book right here, used.
Dang.
I bought it used. It's funny, I bought it at a used bookstore, and inside it said, no longer the property of the Seattle Public Library. So yeah. I was like, cool, I'll buy it for like $8 or whatever.
It's made a trip.
Yeah. So I would suggest, if you're going to buy books, I should say this now, try to buy them from a used bookstore, your local bookstore. Help that person out. Helps your local business. But mainly try to get books at the library, I would suggest.
I like it. Now, quick question for you. So my wife and I, whenever we read books, oftentimes we do read them like together.
Yeah.
And then we'll have a conversation about it.
Nice.
Do you and your wife ever do anything like that?
For personal finance books, she sometimes has to hear my opinions about it. But she's not into personal finance like I am. It's not her jam.
Sure.
So, but that is a good strategy. I would love to start a book club, personal finance book club, with like-minded individuals to.
Nice.
Someday maybe we should do that. So no, we don't do that.
Okay.
But I do have another hack that I'm going to suggest. Again, I geek out on books. I love books. So if you're trying to improve your personal finances, I'm a big believer in reading a book, because whoever wrote that book is very, very knowledgeable, spent a lot of time to write a 200-page book, let's say, and not just make a 15-minute video about their opinions. So it's probably really good. And what you could do, this is what I suggest, go to Barnes & Noble or a different bookstore and take pictures.
Yep.
Take pictures of 10 to 15 books that look really good. And then go home and get on your computer and put them on hold at your library. Because some of these books are so good, you'll have to put them on hold because they're not available.
Right.
So that's what I've done over the years. I'll go occasionally to the personal finance section, see what new books are. I'll take pictures of maybe 5 to 10 books.
Yeah.
I'll go home, I'll get online. I have 2 libraries I can go to. I'm lucky because I live close to another city, so I go to 2 different libraries. Cool. I am a dork, sorry. So I'll check out 10 books, and then if I don't like them all, I didn't spend any money.
Right. And I think that's pretty key right there, right? You didn't spend any money, but at the same time, when you do like the books, you do support the author.
Yeah.
Right. It might still be a used book, so maybe you're supporting something else. But it's one of those things that you'd like to have it in your collection.
Yeah, like, but about 5 to 10. And
Yeah.
then if they're really good, I'll give them as gifts. Like I said,
Yeah.
I Will Teach You How to Be Rich isn't the only book I've given away as far as a gift. It's just I wanted to mention it early because I was picking on Ramit a little bit about telling you to buy 100 books or
Right.
however many books.
It gets a little pricey.
Yeah. So one thing is, if you went straight to the library and went to the personal finance section, that's a good strategy too. But the problem is the ones that are always being checked out won't be there.
Right.
So that's why you want to find what's selling well at a bookstore. I like, because I get out, you get to check out different books. I look at fiction too, because I don't just read nonfiction.
Mm-hmm.
Look at different topics I like. You can of course do this online. Look up personal finance books, different websites.
You can go to Ramit's 50.
Yeah, Ramit's 50. You're absolutely right.
Right.
And then you could check out, like, let's go back to that for a second. I think that's a great point. Some of these, because Ramit's an entrepreneur too, some of his books are guided towards people that are entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go in it, he just cruises through. Finance investment book. His first one is The Boggleheads Guide to Investing. So instead of buying this for $30, let's say, go to your, check it out at your library. And free. This next one is A Random Walk Down Wall Street. Again, go through his list of 50. Maybe 10 are interesting to you. Check them out at the library. Maybe 1 or 2 are actually really, really interesting. You can read those ones only.
Yeah.
And you're on your way to getting better at personal finance, because that's what this is all about, just improving your knowledge about personal finance. Right.
Education.
Exactly.
Well, thanks for sharing those. Those are some good insights there. I think it's definitely one of those things that there's a lot of information, and Ramit's book, I'll Teach You to Be Rich, I liked it. I enjoyed reading that one. And I should probably put it on my bookshelf.
Yeah. I have a niece, the one that's going to be a teacher, graduating from CSU this spring. She's doing her student teaching in Fort Collins. I hope she's not watching right now, but hey, niece, I'm not going to use her name. You might be getting this. Oh yeah. Also, maybe stick in like a Starbucks gift card too.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you were going to sign it.
Oh yeah, I'll sign it. Exactly. I'll give my words of wisdom on the inside. Right. So hey, niece, this might be your gift or a different personal finance book, but this is a good one. So
lucky you.
Yeah.
It's a good book. It's a good book.
So I think that's it. In my opinion, just give this a thought. Look at some books. If you're busy right now, maybe make it part of your summer plans to say, hey, I'm going to read at least 1 personal finance book this summer, or maybe 2, just to try to improve my knowledge about personal finance when you have more time, because I know a lot of teachers are in the grind right now, and the last thing you want to do is add another book or something.
Something on the plate there.
Exactly. So
cool. I like it.
Any last thoughts by you about this?
No, I think that's great. I think it's very insightful, right? Go to the library, do a little research, find something that resonates with you, and don't kill the budget before you're ready.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So, no, thank you for sharing all those informations.
You bet.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.
We'll see ya.